Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Daniela and I am bringing you yet another charity shop book haul. If you haven't had a look at my channel before, there are so many book hauls for you to go through. If you like watching book hauls, go and have a look. There's a playlist that they're all in. I have lots of them because I have been collecting books and as you can see, it's going well. So this haul, I think I have a bit of everything. There is all sorts in this haul. So I'm just going to jump straight in and show you what we found. First up we have fantasy and we have Prince of Thorns by Mark Lawrence. I'm not sure which book this is in the series. I think it's the first one, but this is a YA series. It follows our main character who's a young boy, a band of misfits, got to protect the kingdom, etc, etc. The usual fantasy storyline, but I've heard good things about this and this is a well-beloved series, and we paid £2.99 for this. Next up I found another copy of A Man Called Ove. I already have a copy of this. I haven't read the book yet. This version matched another edition that I have of one of the other Frederick Batman books, so I picked it up and then I can kind of decide which one I want to keep. So far I have loved every single Frederick Batman book I have read, and I am hoping that it will be the same for this, but there's definitely others that I want to read before I read this one. I'm not sure what I paid. I think it was either £1 or £2. Next up, to add to my Patrick Ness collection, I have The Rest of Us Just Live Here. I think I'd seen this a couple of times in the shop and I hadn't picked it up, and then I finally caved and I picked this one up. This one costs £2.50, and it says, "Not everyone has to be the chosen one. What if you're not an indie kid fighting zombies or whatever this new thing is with the blue lights and the death? What if you're like Mikey, who just wants to graduate before someone blows up the high school again? Sometimes you just have to discover how even an ordinary life can be extraordinary." I just really like the sound of Patrick Ness books. Whenever I read the back of them, I like the sound of them. I really need to get to some of these soon. Someone on one of my previous videos mentioned that A Monster Calls will make me cry, and I do love a good cry when I'm reading a book, so I think I'm probably going to try that one first. Next up I picked up The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. I think this is a historical fiction. And I happen to have the sprayed edges and I paid £2.50 for this. I just really liked the front cover of this as well. It says, "There is nothing hidden that will not be revealed. On an autumn day in 1686, 18-year-old Nella Artman arrives at a grand house in Amsterdam to begin her new life as the wife of a wealthy merchant, Johannes Brand. Though curiously distant, he presents her with an extraordinary wedding gift, a cabinet-sized replica of their home. It is to be furnished by an elusive miniaturist whose tiny creations ring eerily true. As Nella uncovers the secrets of her new household, she realises the escalating dangers they face. The miniaturist seems to hold their fate in her hands, but does she plan to save or destroy them?" This just sounds so creepy. Like a miniaturist that is decorating their little creepy dollhouse that is based on their actual house. Like, this just sounds so creepy. I love it when books have creepy vibes. Next up, I picked up this lovely leather-bound edition. So these are pretty old, these old leather editions of books, and this one costs £2.50 and it says The Great Gatsby and the Last Tycoon by Scott Fitzgerald, but I mainly picked it up for The Great Gatsby, and yeah, I kind of thought, well, this edition is very fitting for The Great Gatsby. It also has like that really old book smell, and I love it. Next up I picked up The Moss House by Clara Barley. So initially the cover drew me into this, but then when I started reading the back of it, I realised it's actually based on a place that I live near and a woman that used to live there, so I couldn't not pick this one up. But it says, in the mid-19th century, neighbouring Yorkshire landowners Miss Lister and Miss Walker find their lives entwined in a passionate, forbidden relationship. But the world is not yet ready for Anne Lister, the larger-than-life scholar, traveller and mountaineer. The lovers retreat to the Moss House, a private sanctuary away from disapproving eyes, but their tranquility cannot last as they are drawn into the turmoil of a changing society and a divided family that tests their love for each other. In the Moss House we discover Anne Lister's lifelong struggle to be her true self as she finally finds love with Anne Walker, and together they strive to live the life they have battled so long for. So I don't know if this is historical fiction or if any of this is true, but I'm super excited to read this. and I paid £2.50 for this. Next up, I found a proof of Lake's Edge. I think I paid probably £2 for this. This one says, when Violetta Graceling and her younger brother Arian arrive at the haunted Lake's Edge estate, they expect to find a monster. Lita knows the terrifying rumours about Rowan Sylvanon, who drowned his entire family when he was a boy, but neither the estate nor the monster are what they seem. As Lita falls for Rowan, she discovers he is bound to the Lord Under, the sinister death god lurking in the black waters of the lake, a creature to whom Lita is inexplicably drawn. Now, to save Rowan and herself, Lita must confront the darkness in her past, including unravelling the mystery of her connection to the Lord Under. I haven't actually heard much about this, like I don't know what people's feelings on this are. If you've read this before, please let me know what you think. Next up, Wool. I already have the hardback edition, but I picked up the second book in paperback, so I figured I would pick up the paperback edition, and then if I manage to get all the paperbacks I might just get rid of the hardback. But this one cost me £1.50. Next up, we have a memoir. This is I Am by Maggie O'Farrell. I really like the cover for this and the heart in the background. And this book is about the author and all of her near-death experiences. And apparently there's a lot of them. It says, an unforgettable account of a life in near-death experiences, a childhood illness she was not expected to survive, a terrifying encounter on a remote path, a mismanaged labour in an understaffed hospital. Insightful, inspirational, intelligent, it is a story you finish newly conscious of life's fragility, determined to make every heartbeat count. So I really like the sound of this. I've seen people talk about this and say good things about it. I'm super excited to read this. I paid £2 for this. Next up, we have a book that I do not remember picking up. So presumably I have read the back of it and liked it. Let's find out. It's called Dark Hollows by Steve Fretch. I paid £1 for it, and it says, your past is catching up with you. Jacob Reese enjoys the quiet life, running a coffee shop and renting out his cottage in the Hollows, Vermont. But the calm is shattered when a woman who looks eerily similar to his ex-girlfriend Laura turns up to stay in the cottage and leaves a mysterious note in the guest book. Now Jacob's seeing Laura everywhere. A glimpse of her face across the street, her music box left outside his house, a gift he gave her years before hanging from the trees. But it can't be Laura, because Laura's dead. Someone knows Jacob's secret, what really happened the night Laura died, and they're out for revenge. So this is a thriller. Presumably this guy has some sort of involvement in the ex-girlfriend's death, and it sounds good. Next up, another book that was recommended by Katie Colson. It is The First Day of Spring by Nancy Tucker. I managed to find this in hardback. I was super happy when I found this, and it cost me £3. This book is about our main character who has killed someone as a child, and it's following her 15 years later when she has her own child, and she starts getting phone calls. It says the caller knows the truth about what happened all those years ago, and it's time to face the truth. Are forgiveness and redemption ever possible for someone who has killed? And if you think that I had spoiled the book for you by telling you that she killed someone, I haven't. It's the first line of the book. The first line of the book says, I killed a little boy today. I'm super excited for this. And finally, for this haul, I found The Court of Miracles by Kester Grant. I believe this is the first in a series. I don't think any of the other ones are out yet. I paid $3.99 for this, and it has these lovely end papers. And then, under the dust jacket, we have this nice foiled hardcover. There is a map in the front and some illustrations. It just looks like a really nice edition, and I'm super happy with this. That is everything I have for you today. My camera is about to die. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. He put